Hi, my name's Cassandra. The concepts of safety and home have been difficult for me to grasp throughout my lifetime. I was born just outside of Ottawa with my parents and my 4 brothers. When I was 9, my mom left us, starting a new family. In the years that followed, tragedy seemed to hit us again and again. Our house burned down, claiming the life of my stepmother. My dad worked 3 jobs to provide for our family, but turned to alcohol to cope with his pain. He wasn't able to be home a lot, and without a lot of supervision, I was sexually assaulted at the age of 11. And the knockout blow came when I was 15. We received news that my dad had been struck and killed by a drunk driver on the road. He was my safety and my home, and now he was gone. We went to live with my mom and stepdad, who was very abusive. As soon as I could, I moved in with my aunt and started taking faltering steps towards building my own life. I fell in love and became pregnant with my son at 18. For the next decade, as a young family, we continued to stumble through putting the pieces of our life together. We had another baby boy, and we both graduated from our respective programs into new careers. When my fiance's job required that we move to a city called Chilliwack, I wasn't sure what to think. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think I could have even shown you where BC was on the map. We searched online and found a listing for a rental bungalow that felt perfect for us. We got in contact with the owners, Ken and Darlene Epp, and moved right in when we came into town. My relationship with my fiance fell apart in 2021. Alone raising boys part-time on my own, Ken and Darlene became my family. They were like loving and stable parents I could count on. Ken and Darlene regularly attended a church called Southside and invited me to attend one Sunday. I was not a church person. I remember telling my best friend back home about it, and she made a joke about the place catching on fire. But for Ken and Darlene, I decided to give it a shot. I brought my boys with me, and from the moment that the music started, I knew something was different about this church. From the songs, the people, and the sermon, it felt like I was being given the key to something I didn't know I needed. Sunday after Sunday, we'd attend church. I raised my hand to invite Jesus into my heart one week, shaking and crying through it all, and got baptized 2 weeks later. As a family, our weeks weren't complete without church. And then everything changed. Blood work I had done revealed I had a disorder. Through further testing, doctors found a mass on my kidney, and a few months later, cancer in my cervix. I remember the second discovery was made on a Friday, and I had walked into church that Sunday, barely holding up. The band was introducing a new song that Sunday called Too Good to Not Believe. When they sang this one part of the bridge, I broke down. I've seen cancer disappear. I've seen broken bodies healed. After everything I've seen, you're too good to not believe. God was there with me in that moment. The message in the song was for me. I realized he was meeting me in my pain and fears, and when I looked around in that season, I could see him everywhere. Darlene quilted me a blanket to use during my treatment. Their family would bring me food. It was challenging, but God gave me enough strength to be a present mom for my boys and go to work when I could too. And then one day, a Sunshine Fund box arrived for me from Southside. I learned that the Sunshine Fund was created by our church in order to bless families with kids who are walking through critical illnesses and tragic loss. When I opened the box, I was overwhelmed. There were gift cards for everything in there: groceries, gas, food. I had been relying on my line of credit to get by, but with this box, relief washed over me. I wouldn't have to struggle for food for me and my boys through sick leave or worry about fuel for my appointments. When you get diagnosed with cancer, it's hard to describe how isolating that diagnosis could be, especially as a single mom. And because of that, it's hard to describe the sense of hope you feel when you realize you're not alone. As someone who felt so alone for most of my life, it was surreal. I realized that there was a community around us cheering us on and generously sacrificing for us. Time and time again, that's been the theme of my walk with God. When hope seems lost, he shows me it's not, just at the right time. He shows me I'm not alone. I'm 3 years cancer-free now, and I'm grateful every time I get my blood work results back all clear. In March of this year, I graduated from Freedom Session here. Through that 9-month journey and every Sunday morning, God helped me unpack all the trauma of my past. The abuse, the abandonment, the shame, and the heartbreak, piece by piece, I handed it over. I can't imagine where I'd be if God hadn't brought us to Southside. Through so many ups and downs, doubts and seasons I wandered away from him, God was always there. He always waits patiently to welcome me back home. And that's how I feel now, at home, with my boys here at Southside. We're surrounded by people who love us in life, and we're with God through it all. the safety and home I've always craved. Thank you, God, and thank you, So Side. My boys and I know that for our family, the best is always yet to come.